The Anunnaki, humanity's forgotten past and starbound future. Imagine an age when humanity walked alongside gods, not as equals, but as their creation, their laborers. These gods, known as the Anunnaki, descended from the heavens, wielding power and knowledge far beyond human comprehension. Ancient Sumerian texts claim they shaped our civilizations, raised our cities, and then vanished, leaving behind cryptic monuments and unanswered questions. From the sands of Egypt to the ruins of Mars, evidence points to a forgotten chapter of our history. As humanity steps into the stars, are we on the brink of rediscovering our cosmic origins? The story of the Anunnaki begins with Nibiru, often called the planet of the crossing. This enigmatic world, described in Sumerian texts like the Enuma Elish, is believed to have an elongated orbit that periodically brings it close to Earth. Ancient records suggest that Nibiru was once a thriving planet, but faced an environmental catastrophe, possibly the depletion of its atmosphere. The Anunnaki, the advanced inhabitants of this world, sought a solution, and Earth became central to their plans. Anu, the sovereign of the Anunnaki. Anu, the highest deity in the Sumerian pantheon, is depicted as a distant yet omnipotent figure. He is not directly involved in Earth's affairs, but acts as the ultimate arbiter. From his seat of power on Nibiru, Anu directed his sons to carry out their mission. 1. Enki, the god of wisdom and waters, was tasked with exploring Earth and establishing operations. 2. Enlil, the god of air and command, was given authority over the Earth mission, ensuring order and efficiency. This division of roles sowed the seeds of rivalry between the brothers, creating the dynamic tension central to their interactions with humanity. Earth's resources. The quest for gold. The Anunnaki came to Earth with a specific purpose: to mine gold. According to alternative interpretations of ancient texts, gold was not merely a symbol of wealth, but a critical resource for technological purposes, particularly for repairing Nibiru's atmosphere. It was theorized that fine particles of gold could be dispersed in the upper atmosphere to reflect solar radiation and stabilize their planet's environment. The Anunnaki's early expeditions began in Africa, particularly in regions rich in gold deposits. Archaeological findings in areas like South Africa have uncovered ancient mining operations that predate known human activity, sparking speculation that these sites were part of the Anunnaki's operations. Enki, the scientist and creator, Enki, also known as Ea, emerges as a complex figure, both a scientist and a humanitarian. When the Anunnaki workers, known as the Igigi, rebelled against the grueling labor of gold mining, Enki devised a radical solution: the creation of a new species. Using advanced genetic engineering, he combined the DNA of the Anunnaki with that of early hominids already present on Earth. The result was Homo sapiens, a hybrid species designed to serve as laborers. Early humans, according to these myths, were not just accidents of evolution, but deliberate creations tailored for a purpose. This act of creation placed Enki in the role of a benevolent father figure, but it also sparked conflicts with his brother Enlil, the enforcer of order. Enlil's role was to oversee Earth's operations and ensure that Anunnaki's objectives were met. Unlike Enki, Enlil viewed humanity with suspicion, seeing them as a potential threat rather than allies. His approach was strict and authoritarian, often clashing with Enki's more compassionate perspective. This dynamic is reflected in several Sumerian stories, such as the Deluge myth, where Enlil decides to wipe out humanity through a great flood due to their growing numbers and perceived disobedience. Enki, however, secretly aids humanity by warning Ziusudra, the Sumerian Noah, to build an ark, preserving human life. The Trinity and cosmic balance Anu, Enki, and Enlil together represent a cosmic balance. Anu symbolizes the overarching order and neutrality of the universe. Enki embodies wisdom, creation, and progress. Enlil represents law, discipline, and authority. Their roles mirror the interplay between chaos and order, progress and tradition. This trinity is a recurring motif in spiritual traditions, suggesting that their story has been woven into the fabric of later religions and myths. Was Nibiru a myth or a memory? The question of Nibiru's existence remains controversial. Mainstream science has yet to confirm a planetary body matching its description, but the idea of a Planet X lurking at the edges of our solar system is not dismissed outright. The Sumerians' detailed astronomical knowledge, including accurate descriptions of planets unseen to the naked eye, raises questions about how such ancient civilizations acquired this information. If Nibiru exists, its periodic return could explain certain cataclysms in Earth's history, such as shifts in climate, mass extinctions, or even societal resets. This cyclical connection reinforces the idea that Anunnaki's interventions were timed with these planetary alignments. The Great Divide, Mars and Earth. Mars enters the story as a potential intermediary world. Some interpretations suggest that the Anunnaki used Mars as a staging ground or base during their Earth missions. Ancient structures photographed on Mars, such as the infamous Face on Mars, or pyramid-like formations, fuel speculation that this planet once hosted advanced activity. Mars may also hold clues to the Anunnaki's broader operations, hinting at a network of civilizations spanning multiple planets. If Nibiru's orbit intersects both Mars and Earth, this could explain the strategic significance of both worlds in their plans. Part 2. The Reset of Humanity. Humanity's history is marked by sudden leaps in development and mysterious resets that have puzzled researchers for decades. Evidence suggests that our species is far older and more advanced than traditional archaeology admits. Around 12,000 years ago, during the Younger Dryas period, a catastrophic event occurred that wiped out much of the world's population and reset human progress. The Anunnaki appear in ancient records at this crucial juncture, stepping in to rebuild what was lost. The cataclysm that reset civilization, the Younger Dryas, a sudden and dramatic cooling period, is often linked to a global catastrophe. Theories include a massive comet impact, volcanic activity, or rapid polar shifts. Whatever the cause, the aftermath included massive floods linked to global ice melt, fires that scorched vast regions, the destruction of advanced human settlements. These events are echoed in myths worldwide, from the Sumerian deluge myth to the biblical Great Flood. The similarity across cultures suggests a shared memory of a real event. For instance, the Sumerian story of Ziusudra, who builds a massive ark at Enki's instruction to survive the flood, directly parallels the biblical story of Noah. In this context, the Anunnaki are portrayed as both destroyers, Enlil, and saviors, Enki, shaping humanity's survival and future. The Great Sphinx of Egypt, a testament to the cataclysm. The Great Sphinx of Giza plays a key role in this narrative. Geological studies, particularly those by Dr. Robert Schoch, suggest that the Sphinx shows significant water erosion, indicating it predates the desert environment of ancient Egypt. This implies a construction date of at least 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, aligning it with the aftermath of the Younger Dryas. Astronomical alignments. The Sphinx faces due east, and its alignment with the constellation Leo during the spring equinox around 10,500 BCE supports the idea that it was built in an age of advanced knowledge. The symbolism of the Sphinx. The lion's body and human head symbolize a blend of earthly and divine characteristics, echoing Anunnaki's role as humanity's genetic creator. The Sphinx could have been built by survivors of the catastrophe, guided by the Anunnaki, as a marker of their intervention and a message for future generations. Summer, the cradle of rebirth. After the floodwaters receded, the Sumerians emerged as the first advanced civilization in recorded history. However, their sudden appearance, and with advanced knowledge of writing, astronomy, agriculture, and governance, raises questions. How did they develop so rapidly? Ancient texts attribute their knowledge to the Anunnaki, who returned after the flood to re-establish civilization. The Sumerian king lists, for example, record rulers with impossibly long reigns before and after the flood, suggesting a transition from direct Anunnaki rule to human kingship under their guidance. Chances, a clue to humanity's past. The inclusion of Mars in the Anunnaki story provides a tantalizing layer of mystery. NASA imagery has captured structures on Mars that resemble pyramids, suggesting the possibility of ancient civilizations. The face on Mars in the Cydonia region resembles a human-like visage, potentially a marker left by an advanced species. Pyramids on Mars. Their alignment mirrors structures on Earth, such as the pyramids of Giza, hinting at a shared architectural blueprint and cosmic connection. Mars may have been a former base or colony of the Anunnaki, abandoned after a planetary cataclysm. If humanity was seeded on Earth as part of a broader interplanetary experiment, Mars could hold vital clues to our origins, evidence of advanced pre-cataclysmic civilizations. The remnants of advanced human activity before the reset are scattered across the globe, providing a glimpse into what might have been. Göbekli Tepe, a site in modern Turkey dated to around 12,000 years ago, predates agriculture and writing, yet displays advanced engineering and astronomical knowledge. Its sudden burial suggests it was deliberately preserved for future generations. Underwater ruins. Sites like Yonaguni off the coast of Japan and Dwarka in India's Gulf of Kambat suggest thriving civilizations that were submerged after rising sea levels. South Africa's ancient mines, mining sites in Africa dating back over 100,000 years, may be evidence of the Anunnaki's resource extraction activities. These sites hint at a highly sophisticated global civilization that was either wiped out or significantly diminished by the Younger Dryas event. The Anunnaki's role in humanity's reset. The Anunnaki are portrayed in ancient texts as deeply involved in humanity's recovery after the cataclysm. Enki's compassion. Enki preserved humanity by providing survival knowledge, such as agriculture and construction. Enlil's control. Enlil enforced stricter boundaries on humanity, limiting their access to divine knowledge and seeking to maintain order. Anu's directive. From Nibiru, Anu likely approved this balance between survival and subjugation, ensuring that humanity could rebuild but not challenge Anunnaki's authority. The Great Divide. Myth or memory. The recurring theme of a cataclysmic reset in ancient stories from Atlantis to the Great Flood suggests that humanity's current epoch is only the latest chapter in a much longer saga. The Anunnaki's intervention may have been both pragmatic, ensuring the continuation of their resource extraction, and benevolent, as they preserved and guided human knowledge. A message in the stars. The alignment of ancient structures like the Sphinx and pyramids with celestial bodies reinforces the idea that humanity's history is deeply connected to the stars. These alignments may serve as a cosmic clock marking cycles of destruction and renewal tied to the movements of Nibiru and the Anunnaki's return. Part 3. Humanity's evolution and spiritual awakening. The Anunnaki's interaction with humanity was not simply about domination or exploitation. It was a complex relationship with layers of intention. They shaped humanity physically, intellectually, and spiritually, crafting a dual role for us: servitude and eventual enlightenment. To understand this, we must delve deeper into their motives, the creation of humanity, and the philosophical and spiritual legacy they left behind. The purpose of humanity. Servants or partners. The Sumerian texts, particularly the Atrahasis, describe humanity's creation as a response to the Anunnaki's labor crisis. The Agigi, the lesser gods tasked with the grueling labor of gold mining, rebelled, forcing the Anunnaki leadership to find a solution. Enki's experimentation. Enki, with the help of Nin-Hursag, a geneticist and mother goddess figure, combined Anunnaki's DNA with that of early hominids, creating the first humans. These beings were intelligent enough to perform tasks but lacked the longevity and knowledge of their creators. Early role. Humans initially served as laborers in agriculture, mining, and construction, as evidenced by depictions of early humans offering tributes to the gods in Sumerian art. However, this servitude was not purely exploitative. Over time, the Anunnaki imbued humanity with knowledge and tools for development, suggesting a deeper, more altruistic purpose behind their actions. Brekras versus Enlil. Two paths for humanity. The relationship between Enki and Enlil is critical to understanding humanity's development. Their opposing philosophies created a dual narrative that shaped human destiny. 1. Enki, the Promethean figure. Enki, often portrayed as humanity's benefactor, saw potential in his creation. He provided humans with forbidden knowledge, such as agriculture, irrigation, writing, and medicine. This parallels the story of Prometheus, who gave fire to humanity despite divine prohibition. Enki's rebellion against Enlil's strict rules often put him in direct conflict with his brother. For instance, during the Great Flood, Enki defied Enlil's orders and warned Ziusudra, Noah, ensuring humanity's survival. 2. Enlil, the enforcer of order. Enlil viewed humans as a means to an end, necessary for Anunnaki's operations but inherently flawed and prone to rebellion. He sought to limit human autonomy and keep them in a subservient role. This included controlling population growth and restricting access to divine knowledge. The Great Flood is a key example of Enlil's desire to reset humanity when he believed they had grown too numerous and unruly. Their opposing perspectives reflect a cosmic struggle between progress and control, freedom and order. Humanity, caught in the middle, inherited both its creative potential and its flaws. Humanity's evolution, from laborers to co-creators. While humanity began as servants, the Anunnaki gradually elevated us, providing tools and teachings to help us develop civilization. This transition is evident in several key aspects: agriculture and city building. The Anunnaki taught humans how to cultivate crops and domesticate animals, leading to the rise of city-states like Ur, Eridu, and Babylon. Knowledge and writing. The invention of cuneiform. Writing in Sumer is attributed to divine inspiration, allowing humans to record history, laws, and knowledge. Spiritual teachings. The Anunnaki instilled religious practices that emphasized cosmic order and humanity's connection to the divine. Temples and ziggurats became centers of worship and learning. This gradual elevation suggests that the Anunnaki saw humanity as more than mere tools. They envisioned us as potential partners in a greater cosmic plan. The spiritual legacy. A cosmic blueprint. The Anunnaki's influence extends beyond physical civilization into the spiritual and metaphysical realms. Their story introduces several recurring themes that resonate in later religions. The trinity of Anu, Enki, and Enlil. This triad mirrors the concept of the Holy Trinity in Christianity or the Trimurti in Hinduism. It represents balance, creation, and preservation. The serpent and knowledge. Enki, often associated with water and serpents, symbolizes wisdom and transformation. The serpent's role in the Garden of Eden could be a reimagining of Enki's gift of knowledge to humanity. Flood myths and renewal. The Great Flood is a metaphor for cleansing and renewal, a theme repeated in many traditions as a means to restart and refine human civilization. These parallels suggest that Anunnaki's teachings formed the foundation for spiritual systems that would later evolve independently. The cosmic purpose, humanity's ascension. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Anunnaki story is the idea that humanity is destined for something greater. Ancient texts hint at the belief that humans were imbued with divine potential, longevity, and wisdom. Early humans were said to live for hundreds of years, reflecting their partially divine origins. This longevity diminished over generations, perhaps as a way to limit their power. Ascension to the stars. The Anunnaki's obsession with celestial knowledge, seen in their alignment of structures with stars, may point to humanity's eventual role as a star-faring species. A test of readiness. Humanity's history of struggle, innovation, and spiritual growth could be seen as preparation for rejoining a cosmic community. Mars and the interplanetary connection. Mars offers further clues to this cosmic purpose. If the Anunnaki once inhabited or used Mars as a staging ground, it suggests that humanity's destiny might involve reclaiming this ancient connection. Terraforming and colonization. Mars's barren state today might reflect the aftermath of an Anunnaki cataclysm, but its restoration could be humanity's responsibility. Cosmic knowledge. Structures on Mars, if verified, could hold the keys to understanding our role in the Anunnaki's broader plans. The question of free will. The Anunnaki story raises a profound question. Were we created to serve, or were we given the tools to transcend and become equals? Enki's teachings suggest that humanity was always meant to evolve and reach for the stars. Enlil's control reminds us that freedom requires responsibility and discipline. This duality lies at the heart of human existence, our struggle to balance our divine potential with the limitations of our material nature. Part 4. The Anunnaki's influence on modern religion and humanity's future. As humanity advanced, the legacy of the Anunnaki transformed into myth, religion, and philosophy. Over time, the gods of Sumer became archetypes that echoed through subsequent civilizations, shaping the major world religions we recognize today. Understanding these connections provides deeper insight into how Anunnaki's story links humanity's past to its future, particularly as we enter a new star age of discovery and spiritual awakening. From gods to myths, the Anunnaki's transformation. The Anunnaki's direct presence in early civilizations gradually faded, but their influence persisted. Over millennia, their deeds, roles, and relationships were woven into the mythologies of various cultures. 1. Sumer to Babylon and beyond. In Babylon, the Anunnaki's roles were subsumed by the pantheon of Marduk, a god who replaced Enlil and Enki in prominence. Marduk's rise represents a shift in humanity's understanding of divine hierarchies. In Egypt, the triad of Osiris, Isis, and Horus echoes the dynamics of Anu, Enki, and Enlil, representing creation, wisdom, and kingship. 2. Biblical parallels. The Genesis account of creation mirrors the Sumerian story of humanity's origin. The divine council in Genesis, where God said, "Let us make man in our image," suggests a plurality of beings akin to the Anunnaki. The story of the Nephilim, described as the offspring of divine beings and humans, resembles the hybridization narratives in Sumerian myths. 3. Hindu connections. The Trimurti of Brahma, creation, Vishnu, preservation, and Shiva, destruction, parallel the roles of Anu, Enki, and Enlil. The ancient Sanskrit texts describe flying craft, vimanas, and advanced technologies, possibly hinting at a shared legacy with the Anunnaki. 4th, Greek and Roman myths. Prometheus, who defied Zeus to give humanity fire, knowledge, reflects Enki's rebellion to uplift humanity. The Titans and Olympians, representing a generational struggle, echo Anunnaki's internal conflicts over the fate of humanity. These parallels reveal how Anunnaki's story became a universal blueprint for understanding divine human relationships and cosmic order. The Great Sphinx, Mars, and the Star Age 1. The Great Sphinx as a time lock. The Sphinx serves as both a literal and symbolic marker of the Anunnaki's legacy. Its alignment with the stars points to a timeline of cosmic significance. Researchers like Robert Bauval and Graham Hancock suggest that the Sphinx's astronomical alignments with the constellation Leo during 10,500 BCE may represent the dawn of a previous golden age, initiated or guided by the Anunnaki. Second, Mars as humanity's next step. Mars may hold evidence of humanity's pre-reset civilizations or the Anunnaki's interplanetary operations. If structures like the face on Mars or pyramids in the Cydonia region are authentic, They could serve as breadcrumbs left by our cosmic ancestors. As humanity begins exploring and colonizing Mars, we may uncover artifacts or knowledge that redefines our understanding of the past and our place in the universe. 3. The Star Age, a cosmic reconnection. The Star Age refers to humanity's reconnection with the cosmos, marked by advancements in space exploration and a growing spiritual awakening. Ancient texts suggest that humanity was destined to return to the stars, a prophecy that resonates as we stand on the brink of becoming a multi-planetary species. The Cabal, hidden knowledge, and humanity's awakening 1. The suppression of knowledge throughout history, powerful groups, often referred to as the Cabal, have worked to suppress ancient knowledge, ensuring humanity remains disconnected from its true origins and potential. The Anunnaki's teachings, including advanced technologies and spiritual practices, were likely hidden or destroyed to maintain control. 2. The fall of the Cabal. In modern times, there are signs that this suppression is crumbling. Leaks of hidden texts, ancient artifacts, and UFO disclosures suggest that humanity is on the verge of rediscovering its cosmic heritage. The Cabal's fall is often linked to global shifts in consciousness, political upheavals, and the democratization of information through technology. 3. Unlocking the mysteries. As humanity gains access to suppressed knowledge, ancient structures like the Great Sphinx, the pyramids, and even Mars could provide the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the Anunnaki. This process will likely involve the integration of science, spirituality, and mythology, creating a unified understanding of our origins and destiny. The Anunnaki's return and humanity's destiny 1. The prophecy of the return. Ancient Sumerian texts hint at the Anunnaki's eventual return, often tied to the periodic orbit of Nibiru. Some interpret this as a physical return, while others see it as a metaphor for humanity's awakening to its divine potential. 2. The evolution of humanity. Humanity's journey mirrors the Anunnaki's story of conflict, growth, and unity. By embracing both our material and spiritual natures, we fulfill the dual legacy left by Enki and Enlil. The Star Age represents not only technological advancement, but also a shift in consciousness, enabling humanity to become active participants in the cosmic order. 3. From servants to co-creators. If Anunnaki's ultimate purpose was to guide humanity toward becoming co-creators in the universe, the next phase of our evolution involves reclaiming our divine heritage. This includes mastering advanced technologies, exploring other planets, and embracing spiritual teachings that transcend dogma and division. The Anunnaki's legacy is not just a story of gods and mortals, it is our story. It is a reminder that humanity's potential is limitless and that our past is the key to our future. As we stand on the threshold of the Star Age, the question is no longer whether we will uncover the truth, but whether we are ready to embrace it. Will humanity rise to the challenge, reclaiming its cosmic heritage and forging a new destiny among the stars? The answer lies within us, written in the same divine code gifted to us by the Anunnaki.